everyone, I'm back today to share my March completed pages with you, and this month I've got a great big stack of books here which I will move across to the side and we will get started. Now my record keeping wasn't great this month. It was a bit all over the place again, but I think I've got about 25 pages to show you. So starting with Anamorphia, this is what I finished early in the month. It was a whip that I already had on the go, which I finally got around to finishing. And this one has got quite a few different types of water-based markers and coloured pencils in it. And being such a busy double page spread, I decided that we didn't really need a background on that one, and I was happy to leave it as it is. So that was a long time whip that I finally got around to finishing. So I'm always pleased to finish off whips like that. I get them to a certain point and then for whatever reason I forget about them or whatever, and it's such a waste that they sit there unfinished. So I'm always glad to get them finished off. Okay, so that is Anamorphia by Kirby Rosans. Next I have Goddess Colouring by, I think it's Anna Joren. And I did the first 2 pages in this book. I decided to look up the work of Anna, and I really liked her style. So I decided to go with alcohol markers because she works with alcohol markers a lot herself. And unfortunately, I've got some yellowing within the space of a couple of weeks, so that's really disappointing. So I think, if I remember correctly, they may have been Creative Place markers from Aldi. So I'm going to have to be careful about that because I think it is the orange, sort of orangey red or orangey brown there that I've used that has, if I match it up, yeah, it's coming from the browns and so on, which is really, really disappointing. And again, down here it's done it. And a little bit of the green even has done it. The olivey greens, I think, are the worst ones. Anything that's got a yellow undertone in the cheaper markers do tend to do this. So knowing that, I will make sure that I have paper or something in there to protect them in future. So bit of a shame, but lesson learned. Now this page has got a little bit of metallic gel pen on it, so that's Sakura Jelly Roll metallic, but other than that it's all just alcohol marker. And I really enjoyed it because I think I ruined the first page that I coloured in this book. I went way too heavy, and this look with the alcohol markers is something that I enjoy a lot more, so I will be doing more of that. And then I also did this one, and you can see obviously how much they bleed through when you're using them in these books, but that's just a write-up, so I'm not too phased about having the bleed through there. But the same thing has happened again because it's the same markers. They've gone through, and I think again it was the brown and the olivey green that has yellowed quite badly actually for such a short period of time. So it hasn't quite gone through, so I'm going to make sure that I put something in there to protect them after I've shown you. But really, really happy with the final look of the page. I really enjoyed colouring it, and I'm really liking the way that it has ended up very much. So I will be working with alcohol markers quite a bit in this book, I think. And now that I know that some of my markers are yellowing, I will be much more careful with them in future. So that's Goddess Colouring, and I'm not sure if it's Anna or Anna Joren, J-A-R-E-N. But it's a lovely book, that one. So the next one is a buddy colour that I did with my friend Colouring with Ellie on Instagram, and she's also here on YouTube, so I will put links to her channel in the description box, and if I work out how to insert an image, I will. I think my camera might be a little bit off here, so getting a little bit of a distorted view, but this page is very buckled because I used water-based markers with a lot of water. I did try to iron it, but Sometimes when you try to iron it, you end up with worse creases because the paper is never going to go completely flat again, especially not this Amazon printed paper. So I used water-based markers and some coloured pencil. Has it got coloured pencil? Let me just check my book. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of pencil and some Sakura Jelly Roll metallic pen in there as well. So just to bring that up and show you some of the texture with all the coloured pencil. You can see what the water has done to the page a little bit. But I really like the way that watery look works with this particular book, with this style of image. So I'm not too unhappy about that. I'll wear a little bit of damage just to be able to do the method that I enjoy. And this is a Amazon Australia printed book, but it's the very thin paper, very similar to what you get in the US. So that'll give you an indication of, you know, it doesn't work quite so well for me on this paper, but I still persevere with it. So that one is Alice in Wonderland by Olga Goloveshkina. And this is actually the first page that I've coloured in this fun little book, and I had fun colouring it. I quite enjoyed the way that it turned out. I feel like sometimes with these chibi style drawings that I don't have to always do backgrounds, and it's nice and relaxed and a bit of fun. So I used alcohol markers with Prismacolor pencil and some gel pen. There's a little bit of silver gel pen in places on that one, so you can see the bleed through from the alcohol marker. So that was another one that I enjoyed doing. I've had a real mix of pages this month. I've had some really difficult, complicated pages, and then I've had some nice simple shapes and easy colours with alcohol markers that have been really nice, just to mix things up a bit. So this was another new book to me. It's Annie Wahlquist, and this is Adult Colouring Book 2, and I've got 2 pages done in here. The first page I did with Copic Chow markers that I won as a prize on Instagram, and it was a limited set of colours that Copic sent me, and I just stuck to those colours and coloured this page with them, and I really quite enjoyed the way that they worked as well. It'd be nice to be able to afford some more of the Copic markers in time, but yeah, it was very nice. I enjoyed using them. And then the next page I have here was alcohol markers with some coloured pencil. And I think this might have been some of the Copic Chow that I won here, plus a few extras and some coloured pencil. My reflections on the bottle didn't work too great. That was white acrylic paint pen. But other than that, I was quite happy with it. Again, this little book here, it doesn't necessarily need backgrounds done with it, I don't think, so I'm going to enjoy some nice, relaxed, simple colouring in this book. So that's Adult Colouring Book 2 by Annie Wahlquist. Now from the same artist, I've got Peeler. I'm not sure on the correct pronunciation for that title, but I'm calling it Peeler. And this was a new book to me as well this month, and thanks to Annika at Axic Fumbles for bringing the book to my notice. And I've used alcohol markers with coloured pencil on this one. So I've picked up quite a few books that are single-sided that I'm going to be able to use my markers in and enjoy using markers. And that's a nice little book as well, some quirky little pictures in there. So that's Peeler. Then on to Tea Party by Nicolette Delafray. Now this was a gift from Nicolette. She sent me the book to review a couple of months ago. And I did this page here, just a really simple little page. Again, I don't see the need to overcomplicate some pages that are simple. You can make as much or as little of these books as you want. That's the beauty of them, and that's why they're designed that way, for you to have options to do what you want with them. And I just wanted to keep that really simple, and that is purely alcohol markers with nothing else. Again, another really nice, easy colour in between some of the harder pages. And this one is Artex pencils with Ohuhu alcohol markers, and sorry, no, it's not Artex pencils, it was the Artex pastel alcohol markers with Prismacolor. Now the alcohol markers were very juicy brand new markers, and it has made the page buckle and bend a little bit. That was just alcohol markers, no water has gone near that. So even very, very juicy new alcohol markers will also cause a little bit of this sort of effect. And the Prismacolor pencils worked really well over the top of those markers. So that was another nice relaxing colour as well. So that is Tea Party by Nicolette Delafray. Now this one might be a little bit difficult to fit in completely. It's Townscapes, Animals, Variety Goods, Cakes, Flowers, Cooking and Five Bears. So most people know it as either Townscapes or the Five Bears. And this was a page that I started on video last year sometime to start showing how I use Crayola Super Tips as watercolours, and I'd started some of the backgrounds, so I decided to finish this page off, and I had a bit of trouble with it. It went through the motions of definitely many times I didn't like the page at all and nearly gave up on it. But because I was recording it on video, I decided to keep going, and I ended up using quite a bit of different supplies on here. I used Crayola Super Tips, Crayola Clicks, water-based markers, Artex pencils, Sakura jelly rolls, acrylic markers and fine liners. So it had a bit of everything thrown at it, you know, and this was the point where I gave up on it in the end, but it is done, and it also is the first pages in this book, so I didn't really want to give up on the first pages. I wanted to see it through, and this is a very long, narrow landscape format book, so it is difficult to fit all of it on camera. But there is a video of this one if you would like to see it. In fact, I should have told you that this one has a video for it. There is a video, no, not that book. There is a video colouring that page. And we've got a few more to come, so yeah, there are videos for these pages if you'd like to actually see how I went about colouring them. And I'm not sure of who the artist is in this one. I don't think I've written it down anywhere. Sometimes I write it down so that I can remember them, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that one. So that is Townscapes or Five Bears. Then in World of Flowers, I did something really different for me. I don't generally like doing wallpaper pages, but I had a few days where I was listening to audiobooks or podcasts or YouTube or whatever, and I just felt like colouring backgrounds, getting started with backgrounds. And so I picked this book up, and I had a set of very cheap Anko brand gel pens. Anko is available in Australia at Kmart and Target stores. And I didn't like how they worked. The blue wasn't so bad. The blue was working okay, but some of these other colours were very, very scratchy and I didn't like them at all. They got a really fine point on them. So I have gotten rid of the rest of those markers now. But I thought that this sort of colouring backgrounds and getting them prepared and ready and so on for other colouring was a good way to actually use up some supplies and some pens that I haven't been using. So that's what I did here. I started on the background and then I picked, you know, one particular type of flower, then the other and so on until it was done. And I wanted it to just be flat, basic colouring because it's wallpaper and I didn't really see a need to do any shading with it at all. And I also finished this page here, which is water-based markers, the Faber-Castell connector pens. And this page had already been coloured, so I finished that page and I knew roughly that what markers had been used, not the specific colour, but the brand of markers, and so I continued this page over so that that is now a double spread that is finished. And so you'll see that I've got a few pages where I've been testing various things. If it's a page that I wasn't really invested in, or like this one had some bleed through to cover up, I've been testing various markers and gel pens and so on, and going through the book and just doing some, you know, starting some backgrounds and so on that I can come back to when I'm just listening to an audio book or something where I'm not giving it my full concentration, but I want to still keep my hands busy and be colouring, but without having to think too much. So blocking in backgrounds of busy pages like this are really easy to do when you're listening to something else. So that is World of Flowers by Johanna Basford. And I will continue to keep doing that, I think. I enjoyed doing that. So that sort of colouring isn't necessarily for a great result, but more about just a process of filling things in. So this one, there is a video for this one up on the channel as well. This is Fairy Tales and Folklore by Emily Leaderhall Oberg. And I did a demonstration of Derwent Inktense pencils, and there's a tiny little bit of Jelly Roll Metallic. So I showed how I like to work with Inktense pencils, my preferred way, but also tried a few different methods. So this is the first one in this book that I've used the water on to see how water would go. And it has buckled a little bit, but not too bad. As the longer the book is closed, it is flattening out. And the background here, I think there was a little bit of Derwent watercolour pencil in the background there as well. It's getting a bit blown out here with the lighting. It's a bit deeper in real life than it is here. But really enjoyed that one. It was a nice page and nice result. So I will be doing Inktense pencils in that book again. So this one is Lost Ocean by Johanna Basford, and again in the same sort of vein of the other one with gel pens and wallpapers and so on. The background here is Sakura Jelly Roll Moonlight, which is really nice. They're a nice pen. The flow that you get with a Jelly Roll Moonlight is really nice. And then I've coloured the lobsters and shells and so on with a mix of water-based markers and fine liners. And you may be able to see a little bit here where it has gone all patchy and faded. That was my dog Hamish. He licked the page. I had this left out on the coffee table and he came and licked the page. And Jelly Roll Moonlight are not waterproof when they're dry. They still will move with water. And where he licked it, he's taken the colour off of it and smudged things a bit. But I thought that was really funny because he's a really anxious, nervous dog. If you're not follower of the channel and don't know his background, he came to us from a rescue and he was really nervous, and to see him being so interested in things that are going on around him, and you know, bold enough to go up and lick this really did amuse me, so I didn't try to fix it up. But you know, that result, I'm quite happy with it. It's not the greatest colouring in the world, and it wasn't meant to be. It was purely about getting the colour on the paper and filling the page in, and not about creating a fine piece of art. So that's the page that was already coloured next to it, and I think the colours work really well together, and I'm really happy with how that looks as a spread. So again, I went through this book and I prepared a few pages, and this is one that I have been working on as well. Used a lot of gel pen and water-based marker, so I may come in with a bit of pencil to finish that off. I did things like this with the gel pens, just filling in backgrounds, you know, pens that were new to me, trying out to see how they would look. And so I've just gone through filling in backgrounds, and I'll come back and finish those pages at a later stage. So again, you know, it's just getting started, and I need fine liners for a lot of these details. So I'm going to get my fine liners out and sit and do those at some stage when I'm listening to another audio book. So that's that one there. So I've been trying to mix things up with the types of pages, the mediums I've been using, and yeah, just, you know, just colouring for colouring's sake, rather than trying to get, you know, wonderful finished pages completed. And in the long run, I've enjoyed it more. So sometimes we just need to do that. Let go of the end result and just enjoy the process. So this book is Tomislav Tomic Sprukius Boss, I think. And I did this page here, and I used Blick Studio pencils to start with. It was quite hard going on this paper, so then I actually used some alcohol marker. Not a lot, you can see pretty much just the background and some of the details on the building or castle, and the rest of it is the Blick Studio pencils, which I've had for several years. This one is very vibrant, and the camera's having a little bit of trouble to get the lighting just right for that one. So this one took me a while because the pencils were hard work, but again, I was sitting in front of the television and watching something and just working on this over a couple of nights. So I'm glad to have another page done in here, and I liked the combination of alcohol marker with pencil, but I will be experimenting to see which pencils may work better than the Blick Studio pencils did. Quite a busy page, and needed a bit of concentration on that one. And then I've got a very nice colouring book here, which was a new to me book this month, and I did this little page here, very simple. This is Crayart pencils, and I've deliberately left this very raggedy at the edges. This was sort of the look that I was going for. I didn't want a, you know, I didn't want to be ruling up margins or boxes or taping off or doing anything. I just wanted to feather the pencil out and just leave it as it's meant to be, a random background, but with semi rainbow like colours in there. And that was very quick and very easy, and I enjoyed that one a lot as well. So that's a very nice colouring book by Ellen Jarecki. And then last but not least, this month we had the release of Lost in Time by R.J. Hampson, and I decided, after doing the flip through and asking you whether you would like to see this book coloured on camera and from front to back, quite a few of you said you were interested in seeing that, and I enjoyed colouring the last Mr. Fogarty book that way, so I've decided to do it. So far I've got 5 pages coloured, and all of the pages except for this one here are already on the channel as videos that you can do a bit of a colour along with me. So this one is alcohol markers with a bit of coloured pencil. So I'll show you the progress so far because this has all been coloured this month. And this one is Ohuhu markers with Artex pencils, I believe it was. And I think this is one of my favourite pages from the month. Then I did this page here with Polychromos by Faber-Castell. No markers at all on that one, and a little bit of gel pen. This page is all Crayola pencils and a little bit of gel pen, not a lot, but just Crayola pencil. This one I went back to Ohuhu alcohol markers and then I used Prismacolor pencil with it. And this one is another favourite of the month. This one is Faber-Castell connector pens and absolutely nothing else with it. It's only the Faber-Castell connector pens. Now I did crinkle and wrinkle the page a lot, so Jane, I know Jane likes to hear that little bit of crinkling. So quite a bit of damage to the page. I've got some wrinkles and I had to scratch off some of the little bits of paper that had peeled, but I'm really happy with that. That's exactly the sort of colourway and type of colouring that I love doing with RJ Hampson work. So I personally enjoyed doing this very much. And the next one to colour that I have yet to start is Thanks-a-Lotl. So this will be the next one to be coloured on camera soon. So there you go. It was quite a mixed bunch of pictures this month. It was you know, some very complex, busy compositions, very funny compositions, a little bit of cute whimsical sort of style colouring, you know, some that needed to have quite a bit of concentration. Then we had some that had next to no concentration, you know, just very, very, very relaxed. I tried new books, new paper. This is all very new to me, so trying some different things on there. And coming back to old books, you know, old books that haven't been touched for a long time. This is very much not my general thing to do. I had a lot of challenges that, you know, whether I could concentrate. I had a great month for some new pickups that I enjoyed colouring, some very simple, really fun images that just, you know, so relaxed. It was also very nice to win the Copic Chows. Enjoyed that a lot. And Chibi, now I forgot to say, I also had another buddy colour in Lost in Time. I'm so sorry, Joe. I coloured, what did I colour with you, Joe? We coloured, it wasn't Test Drive, was it? It was this one. We coloured this one together as a buddy colour. So again, if I work out how to insert a picture, I'll put Joe's buddy colour in there. So a couple of buddy colours. So very, very different style there. And again, this is a very different style, but I really enjoyed doing this one. And then getting a long time whip finished. It's always nice to get a whip finished. So that's my great big stack of work for this month. Let me know what you think of those pages. Is there anything there that you really liked to see, or did you watch any of the videos and were the videos any use to you? So that's it for this month, and I will see you really soon with another video in Lost in Time, hopefully. So that's it for today, and I'll say goodbye to you all. Take care, everyone. Bye now.